himself is here in the studio with us. We have the Assistant Director General of the National Economic and Development Authority. Welcome to our studio, Ms. Rose Edillon. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, ma'am, first of all, when we talk of NEDA, what exactly does this agency do?
Well, the NEDA is actually the economic planning body of the country. And we have actually two main functions in the NEDA. We are the secretariat to the NEDA board, which is chaired by the president. And we also do the coordinative work. We do policy analysis, the planning, economic planning, and also we coordinate the investment programming for the entire country.
Now, ma'am, what kind of considerations does NEDA make in formulating plans for the country?
Well, it begins with the priorities set out by the president himself. So, using those priorities, then we come up with the strategies that we need in order to address these priorities, and we then translate this into plans, and with the help of all of government, these are then translated into programs and projects.
And when we talk of NEDA, we always hear GDP growth rate and those figures. What is GDP, ma'am, exactly?
Yeah, so GDP, that's the gross domestic product, is the amount of goods and services that are produced within the country.
So how is this the measure of how the economy has improved?
Yes.
And we have been within our targets. And what is our target this year?
For this year, actually we have surpassed our targets. But for this year, our target is to grow from 6.5% to 7.5%.
So when we say 6.5% to 7.5%, what industries contribute to this economic growth?
On the supply side, our growth drivers will be the construction sector and the manufacturing sector, to the extent that it will actually fuel the needs of the construction industry. And then also on the services side, we have the BPO, the tourism industry is also likely to be a big driver. Logistics is also going to play an important part.
Ma'am, about inclusive growth, some of the sectors like the farmers, when they hear GDP, when they hear all these numbers that we have economic growth, but then even in the discussion this morning, there's some of the guests, they were saying that it doesn't really, the farmers don't really feel it, those on the grassroots level. Now, how can we explain to our people on what the plans are that the NEDA is doing as the coordinator of all these plannings for the Philippine Development Plan?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we define inclusive growth as the kind of growth that allows a lot more to participate in the growth process, all who are willing, and then two, that all will benefit from that growth. So in the case of the former, what we are trying to do is to increase opportunities, access to the employment opportunities, make them increase their employability, and with respect to the latter, we're actually doing a lot more to address the difficulties being faced by even the vulnerabilities being faced by the poor. And so we have actually increased the coverage of our conditional cash transfer. As you know, this program transfers directly cash to the poor families, now numbering 3.9 million in all, and on the condition that they send their children to school, that the pregnant mothers obtain health care, that the preschool children also obtain health care. So we are addressing not just the quality of human capital of the poor, but we're also addressing some of their cash and liquidity constraints. In addition to that, they're also given PhilHealth coverage. The premiums are covered. And this means that if their breadwinner actually gets sick, or any member of the family gets sick, then this will not be a reason for them to slide back into poverty or to slide further into poverty. And then we have actually increased the allocation for social services. It's now about 37% from 28% when this administration started. So that's a big jump, and actually the budget has also been increasing, so in absolute terms it's really very sizable. And then with respect to increasing the employability of our peoples, we are investing both in educational inputs and also in the quality of inputs. So as you know, we're addressing the backlog in classrooms, in teachers, in textbooks, and we're also addressing the issue of quality. We are making the curriculum now to be more attuned to the needs of industry. We have the K-12. We also have a lot of the test programs, which is actually done in partnership with industry.
Ma'am, for the benefit and education of our viewers, we know there's a plan, but with the trickle-down effect or the inclusive growth, we know it doesn't happen overnight. Now, for their benefit, how long will this actually take for them to actually feel this?
Looking at the experience of other countries, it will take at least 12 years, 12 to 15 years of sustained economic growth. Now, what we are trying to do is to abbreviate this process by addressing deliberately the constraints being faced by the poor and the reason why they are not able to participate directly in the right away into this growth process. So for some of them, it may be because they don't have the skills necessary. They don't have the skills that are required by this growing sectors, and so we're addressing that directly. We're having, as you know, we have actually categorized the different provinces in terms of 3 categories. So in the first category, these are provinces with the very high magnitude of the poor. The province itself is benefiting from the growth process. We're talking provinces like Cebu, Pangasinan. There are growth drivers in these provinces, but there are certain sectors that are not able to participate in the process.
All right, we will be bringing you video from Shangri-La Hotel. There is currently a session on an interactive session on Connect on Trade, Lifting Barriers to Growth, and we will be bringing you that in a while. Meantime, we'd like to get your final message, ma'am, Ms. Edillon.
Yes, thank you. Well, this hosting of the Philippines of the WEF, as you know, this is the first time, and we are actually trying to make a statement to the world that we are doing some great things over here in the Philippines, and we hope that a lot of them would come, bring the investments, bring those investments that create jobs, that bring those technology as well. And we hope that our peoples will be able to take advantage of all these opportunities. And government is working very hard to make sure that we address the constraints being faced by the poor, and that truly we will have inclusive growth.
Thank you for your time, Assistant of the National Economic Development Authority. Meantime, we will be bringing to you live from Makati Shangri-La the interactive session on Connect on Trade, Lifting Barriers to Growth. Let's watch this.